I became a Christian my senior year in high school, and at that time, the church that I went to was church I'd grown up in, church my dad grew up in. My mom got married, and they started going there, and it was a very connected church, a lot of fellowship, a lot of togetherness, a lot of family, and I've always wanted a big family, just big family holidays, how I remember them as a child. And I think life became real when my mom died. She was my best friend, my biggest supporter, my spiritual mentor, my mom. And my family fell apart when she died. That same year, earlier in the year, I'd gotten married to Tony, who became a Christian shortly after we got married. And he has been a rock, and I thank God for him. I have 3 children, 3 daughters. My oldest daughter and I have always had we're too much alike. And she doesn't really talk to me very much at all. And I'm very close with my middle daughter and my youngest daughter. We decided, all our kids were grown and moved out, and we decided we wanted to go to Fort Wayne, try out some jobs there. Paid better, lower cost of living. You know, as paramedics, we live pretty much paycheck to paycheck. And Fort Wayne is where my dad grew up, and my happiest memories in life were there because I spent the summers with my grandparents, who I was very close to. So we took these jobs and we moved up there, and it was like all the doors were open. Everything just opened up, and we're like, okay, well, we'll go. And it was hard. It was hard. I didn't realize how much I loved Tennessee. I've only lived there for about 8 years. And I was away from my kids. Well, my oldest daughter's in Nebraska, but I haven't talked to her in a few years. My middle daughter's here, and my youngest daughter is actually in Canada going to school. And we were alone up there. I had family up there, but not real close family. And finding a church was very difficult. We searched for a long time. We kind of found one that was kind of okay, and we decided to settle in, but we were hardly ever at church, and we weren't plugged in because of our jobs and the training process. And the one thing in life that I always felt like was untouchable was my job. I was a paramedic, and a good paramedic, and that's what I was called to do. I've been a medic for 25 years, and I love it. Well, God started chipping that away in my life. The training process was very hard up there. And we walked away from God. My oldest daughter, out of the blue, called our new employer and told them that I was suicidal, which I wasn't. So I was off work until cleared by a counselor. I was cleared by a counselor, but 2 weeks later she did the same thing, but she said she was afraid I would hurt my patients, which got me taken off the truck. And they took me into a room with a bunch of police officers. They took my name badge, they took everything off me except my clothes, took me handcuffed in a police car to Park Westby for a 24-hour hold. It's pretty humiliating. But God had to bring me to that point. And I didn't have to stay for 24 hours because I'm not suicidal. And I had to have a 3-hour psychiatrist appointment to be cleared by a psychiatrist. And at the end of the 3 hours, he said, you're not suicidal. Let's get you back to work. At that point, when Tony and I took those jobs, we signed a 2-year contract. They gave us a sign-on bonus and a moving bonus. And that totaled $14,000. If we quit, or if we were fired, we had to pay that money back. Well, we had done already used the money because we had bills before we moved up there. And I was cleared. I went into work. I was called in for a meeting, and they fired me. And I've never been fired from a job ever. I'm very proud about what I do. But I realized that God uses those that we love the most to make us see where we're wrong. About a month went by, and during that month, I had started taking Benadryl liquid gels that you can buy on the counter, cutting them open and shooting them up because I wanted to sleep through life. Every time I woke up, things just seemed to be worse, and I just wanted to sleep. Tony was working, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do because we couldn't pay back $14,000. And at this point, the union got involved because they couldn't figure out why I was fired. I was a good medic. They had never had any complaints. So they filed a grievance. And at that point, they fired Tony. I came home, and Tony was still up there. And, I was really broken. And the one thing that I really loved down here, because we had never really found a church down here either, was the Emmaus community. And Stacy Donovan was the lay leader for the last one, women's, and I called her and I said, "Can I go?" She's like, "You've already been to one. You can't go. But you can help." And I said, "Put me somewhere, anywhere, I don't care where." I served on the Agape team, and I shared some things with Ashley, and I shared about my addiction, and I've seen so many good medics go down that road because they got access to narcotics and whatnot, and I thought, well, this is just Benadryl. It's okay. They can test my blood. It's just Benadryl. They can't fire me for that. But it was hurting me physically and spiritually. I've never been so far away from God. And my friend Danielle told me about this church she was going to. And like, I think we should probably go, Tony. And Tony knew Pastor Twig from his Emmaus walk. And we came. It was like home. And I felt God at that altar. And I knew I had to change. I knew that God brought us here, back here, because this is where our roots are. And while we were down here, the union was fighting for us up in Indiana, and they wiped that debt clear. We didn't know a penny. Because God brings us through things so we can help other people.